UFC, 137. This is UFC breakdown for 133, right here with Carcino in the 206 analysis. And we are live. And that's about all I know. Who's fighting on the card, you might say? We got nobody but Dennis Hellman versus Brian Ebersol, which I don't know why it's on the card. Vito Belfort is going against Yoshiro Akiyama, where I'm going to pick the upset and say Akiyama's going to beat him. Then we got Tito Ortiz, just fought one too long ago, back in the ring again. He's going to get Sugar Rashad Evans because he needs the money. That's what he basically is saying.
I'll take over, okay?
Go ahead.
All right. The card is pretty good, you might say. You know, we got a lot of diverse fighters in this fight. You know, we got Roy McDonald, great wrestler, great grappler, and then we got Mike Pyle, also a great wrestler, great grappler. Now for this fight with Roy McDonald, 22 years old, going a guy 13 years older, Mike Pyle. Mike Pyle is he is the only man to defeat John Hathaway in a fight at UFC 122, defeated him at his own game, took all 3 rounds, and basically kept him on the ground and put him in this body triangle and just kept beating on him. And that's what really got Mike Pyle back up into fame. This fight, Roy McDonald is a very athletic fighter. He's extremely athletic. He's more athletic than most fighters in the UFC. But for this fight, for the way I say it's going to go, I'm saying it's probably going to keep it up a standing fight. I say it stays standing. If Roy McDonald can keep Mike Pyle standing, he will take this fight by a decision. Mike Pyle is an okay striker, but he is prime in the grappling game. He's won 16 fights by submission, and he only has 2 knockouts in his whole career. He also is good at striking, he doesn't have many losses by knockout, and the only knockout he's ever gotten, he's been only knocked out once. And that last time he was knocked out was by a TKO by Jake Ellenberger back at UFC 108. For this fight, I go with Roy McDonald by unanimous decision, most keeping it standing and keeping Mike Pyle from the ground. So next fight, let me find the next fight. So next fight, Jorge Rivera.
Opinions on that. I want to give my opinions on that.
I'm sorry, I got kind of caught up in the moment. You go.
Okay, no, Mike Pyle. That's why his name is Mike Pyle, and we call him the quicksand, because he's gonna sink when he goes against the water boy, and that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna get his brains beat in because he is Pyle of and that's why it's Mike Pyle. Mike Pyle of and that's what's going to happen to him. Because Roy McDonald, like you said, has a lot of stamina. But he's very athletic. He's very giddy in the ring. He's got ring awareness. And I think he's going to wear him down and beat the living crap out of him. Plus, he did
have a very impressive win over Nate Diaz. But Nate Diaz isn't the prime Diaz. Nick Diaz will always keep that title as being the better Diaz. Nate Diaz is basically fighting for his frickin' job now. His next fight. Somehow he was not released. He now has to fight for his job in the next fight, which I don't know. I'm not going to check right now. I don't want to get off topic. But
I'm just joking about
Pyle. Is extremely athletic.
I know, but I'm just joking about Pyle, just for the entertainment value. Pyle is good with his submissions. I mean, he looks for that more than takedown. So I got to roll with him on that. But
so who do you pick?
But I'm still taking. I think he's still going to lose this fight. I'm just saying, in this fight, he needs to look for more takedowns just to stop the momentum of McDonald. But it's going to be hard to take him down. He's going to spend a lot of energy trying to do so because McDonald's very quick and very agile. It's going to be hard to take down.
So,
but I am
now
more McDonald. It's just that Pyle,
next fight.
When somebody says last name is Pyle, you gotta say Pyle, it just goes right along with it. But he's not.
So, do you want to go to the next fight? Because I think we're ready now. So now, Jorge Rivera, coming off the loss to Michael Bisping, he has expressed maybe this might be his last fight. Now going against he was originally going to face Alessio Sakara. Alessio Sakara has now pulled out for the third time for the time they're supposed to fight. And, you know, I'm going to say he probably should retire soon. If he's going to keep getting injured, he has pulled out of many fights in the past couple of years. He barely is fighting. So I say for this fight, he's going against a guy who not many people who know. He doesn't know, like, we don't really know who Konstantinos. I don't know how to fucking say his name. I'm sorry for you
Don't
viewers.
worry.
Konstantinos.
Constantinianos or whatever, Filippo, he don't know how to what his name is. You just said Jorge Rivera. So you know what that is? You hear that ticking? That's the tick to how long it is before Rivera gets knocked out in this fight. Rivera will be TKO'd or KO'd in this fight. This does not go
I agree. Jorge Rivera, this guy he's going against isn't a very experienced striker. Rivera's 19. Most of his losses have come by a knockout, but he did make the mistake of starting the career at 29 years old. He took way too long, and obviously the age is catching up to him. And he was on the Ultimate Fighter season 4 after, you know, his first stint with the UFC where he went 1-2 against. He lost to Lee Murray, Rich Franklin. But sorry, my eyes are watering for some time where he's going to go away. You know, he beat Nate Corey, but really Nate Corey he's kind of done. Nate Corey has been done for a while. We all know he's never going to fight again.
You're a great guy.
Nate Corey is a great guy.
I'm giving him your address.
What?
I'm going to give Nate Corey your address.
You don't even know my fucking address, so yeah, come on, Nate Corey. So for this fight, I go with whatever his face and name. I say he gets the fight, takes the win by TKO in the first round. Carcino, what do you think? How do you think it's going to end?
I've already gave my prediction to that. We're moving right along to Dennis Howman and Brian Ebersol. I believe that's probably the next fight on the list.
Yeah. Dennis Hallman is a Washington native. You know, I've expressed in many of my videos, I love my Washington natives. I usually pick them. Dennis Hallman is very experienced, and Brian Ebersol is also very experienced also. They're both really experienced. But
the geriatric AARP fight.
Brian Ebersol is the more mixed fighter over Dennis Hallman, who is he's an extreme grappler. He likes to grapple more. He likes to grapple more than striking. His last win was against, his last win was against Car Parisian, where he basically in the first round, and that was Car Parisian's last fight in the UFC. But he normally goes for those submissions. So in this fight, I say the guy, the more
rounded guy, right? Yeah, I don't want to waste too much time on this. Right, I don't want to waste too much time on this because we're going to run out of time. But I'm definitely going to go with Brian Ebersol because I think he's less worn for wear than Dennis Howman. So I'm going to just pick that one, and the loser should retire match. And that brings us to bell